Hello, Brian Percival here, pleased to meet you. Now, if you've already seen one of these intros, they're all the same. Just go to the timestamp here to get to the content. You'll need to watch this once. All I'm doing briefly is just explaining what's going on. Now, I stopped doing videos about 2 or 3 years ago. Because a lot of stuff was going on and I basically just didn't have time. It was as simple as that. So what I've done is now that I'm going back to it, I'm consolidating everything onto one channel. So there's going to be one place for all the content I do. It's not going to be spread around everywhere anymore. So as anyone who's seen my stuff before knows that I love a jump cut. I love nothing better than a jump cut, basically because I can't be bothered editing properly. Especially when it's just the stuff like this. So I've decided that I'm just going to put everything under my own name now. Like, nothing's going to be by aliases or anything like that. And mostly I've got fed up with the Pickled Onion Night channel because, well, why go under an alias? It's like people that have still got like a name they invented when they were at school, like Peter 512 or something like that. Get over it. Just go and buy my own name. But mostly it's because when I started the Pickled Onion Night channel, I thought it was a really clever and cool Final Fantasy reference, and it turns out that everyone now thinks it's a Game of Thrones reference. So that's annoyed me. So that's why that's going. So yeah, everything's basically just going to be moved across to the one stream. So everything I do is going to be in the one place. So if you like my stuff, this is the place to come. If you don't like my stuff, go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. With that in mind, I'm recording this little intro to go over the top, to be edited into the older stuff that I've done. Some of it has to be redone. That's just the way it is. Stuff moves forward in a couple of years, and some of the things aren't how they used to be. But some of it is perfectly fine to re-upload here. So I'm just putting this bit in at the beginning so that it looks completely seamless. So what I'll do is, unfortunately, a lot of the older stuff is watermarked. So what I'll do is I'll put a little black bar that's going to rise up here now, and that'll just cover up the watermarks so that nobody gets directed to any of the old stuff anymore. And yeah, well, look forward to the content you haven't seen. A lot of it is older stuff. Like I say, there's new stuff coming. I'm editing loads of stuff at the moment. So yeah, look forward to see you in the future. I had intended to do this a couple of weeks ago, but there was a couple of reasons why I didn't, which I've gone into previously, and then it turned out there was another reason why I didn't, because one of the things I was waiting for that I really wanted to get into this, the pickups video this time around, I had to wait to arrive. So it arrived Monday, it's now Wednesday night, so here we go. Let's get on with this. Now, I've got quite a lot to get through. So I'm going to start off with the cheapest of the cheap, the absolutely worthless games, and as we all know, that's PC games. So I've got a few here, which I picked up, and as usual, I've got my list of price list, but the ink is running out on my printer, so yeah, let's hope I can actually read these. So very quickly on the PC, in fact they're so worthless we don't even put them into games lists, do we? We just leave them as they are. Red Alert 2, the sold out version. Now, I like the sold out PC games because generally they came out a couple of years after the original disc came out, so generally you get all the added on content on here, and it's usually, although obviously this is Command & Conquer, it's on 2 discs, but yeah, they usually come on, all the content comes on disc, so that's fine. Right, and that was, well, I know how much that was because I think I remember where I got it from. Yes, I did. I got it from Echo and it was 50 pence. Tiberian Sun, same deal, from Echo, 50 pence. Red Alert 3, let's guess. I can't find it on my list. Okay, yeah, again, 50 pence from Echo. and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. That was missing. PC. No, I don't know. Well, isn't that odd? No, yeah, again, that was 50 pence from Echo. So I think that's me got every version of Vice City now, because I've also got the Xbox version somewhere, which I found, which came out of the double pack, but I've only got the Vice City disc. I don't know how I came by that. But every now and then, you know, you look through a box, you find something you didn't know you had. It's really good. So yeah, 50 pence. So that is the cheapy PC games. Let's just throw them in the bin. Actually, tell a lie, I really like PC games. PCs, I think the sort of 90s PC is making a bit of a comeback. I think people are beginning to get a bit fed up with all this Steam nonsense where you've got to pay like 12 quid for a game that's 20 years old. I think that is insane. I think these sort of things, they're not making a comeback in a massive way, but people are just getting fed up with these download services all the time. I definitely am not using them. So, yeah, look out for them because they're worth having. So, sticking on the theme of games to throw away, I've got 2 Wii games. So, Ashes Cricket 2009, which, again, I'm guessing was probably from Echo and was probably 50 pence. If I can be after... Yes, it was. It was 50 pence from Echo. But it's in really good condition, and to be honest, pretty much Britain is the only country where you can sell... Maybe Britain and Australia are the only 2 countries in the world where you can sell PAL version cricket games. So, you know, might be a future rarity or something. I don't know. I probably won't even play it, to be honest, although cricket might be quite good on the Wii. Anyway, and then Zumba Fitness 2, which was from Wii. I can't find it. Yep, that was also from Echo, but that was actually £1. And the reason I bought it is because it includes the horrible green belt thing. So that's good, because quite often you find the game on its own and you can't play the game properly without the belt. You can just swing the remote around, it doesn't matter, but you can't do it properly without the horrible green belt thing. And I have got the first one of these, which I think is in an orange case rather than blue, or maybe green. But I don't have the outside box for it. I've got the game and the belt, but I don't have the cardboard box for it. So, you know, that's all right. Looks all right on a shelf, but essentially completely worthless. Unless you actually want to lose weight, in which case Zumba's probably really good for you. So here we start getting towards some stuff that may be worth having. So PlayStation 2 now, and this is Dragon Ball Z, or Z, Budokai, which was... Now a lot of these have come out of charity shops, so... Okay, again, Echo, 50 pence. Echo is a really good shop. I don't know... I think there's 3 or 4 of them dotted around sort of Hertfordshire and Essex, and I don't think they're anywhere else in the country, but they are a really good shop because they don't seem to overprice their games. There's the odd time where you go in there and something will be, you know, especially if it's a cartridge game like a DS or something, it might be £1 or whatever, but 9 times out of 10 disc games are 50 pence. So if you're collecting PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, you know, anything sort of disc game, Wii, 50 pence 9 times out of 10. Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi, Aichi. Yep, 50 pence from Echo. Devil May Cry. Now that, again, yep, okay, Devil May Cry, 50 pence from Echo. Red Dead Revolver. I'm just going to double check, but I think that's the same because I'm pretty sure they all came from the same place. And I cannot find it now. Oh, right, hang on, what's that? Right, hang on. No, it was 50 pence. Devil May Cry 3, again 50 pence from Echo. Peter Jackson's King Kong with the slipcover and the sort of steelbook. There's barely a mark on this thing. It's really, really shiny. And the art cards are in there as well. So, 50 pence, that's not bad. To be honest, I haven't looked any of these up on eBay, but I would have thought that must be going for more than 50 pence with all that gear in it. But hey, you never know. King Kong was not very popular. This is brilliant, this game. I have played it before, but I don't own it. But this is fantastic, and it's Buzz Monster Rumble. Again, this is another 50 pence game. But you do always have to check with these kids' games. See, there's a few fingerprints on there, but nothing that wouldn't sort of, you could clean that up very, very easily. But these Buzz games, if you've got a set of buzzers and you have to entertain some kids over Christmas or whatever, these things are absolutely fantastic. Kids love them. So, cheapest way to entertain your kids at Christmas, a PlayStation 2, some buzzers, and a load of these kids' Buzz games. Not the quiz ones, but these sort of mini-game orientated ones. They're fantastic. Worms Forts Under Siege, another PlayStation 2 game. I imagine that is the same story. Worms. So it's not very easy because I can't read these properly. Yeah, again, 50 pence from Echo. All the PlayStation 2 games all came from Echo, all 50 pence. Fantastic. And that is, especially with Devil May Cry games there, that is probably, I would have a go at Red Dead Revolver, but you'll see in a minute why that might be a bit redundant. But yeah, no money spent hardly at all. So, great. Right, so... okay, let's wade through the crap first. Good stuff. Crap. Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so now we come to the PlayStation 3 stuff, and I've got a big pile of sort of cheapies and then a couple that I paid a little bit more for. So... let's get through the cheap stuff first, so I can start to ignore that. Assassin's Creed, the original. Couldn't believe that I didn't have this, but according to my list, I didn't. I haven't actually checked in the box. Maybe I should check in the box. So I have a big box of PlayStation 3 games that I never go through. Actually, I should. And I couldn't believe I didn't have this, but yeah, my list said I didn't, so I do now. And that was, let me guess, 50 pence from Echo, PES 2010, or Pro Evo Soccer 2010, 50 pence from Echo, Mirror's Edge. Again, I do have this, but the instruction... whoop, hello, there's a little thing falling out of there. Ugh. I do have this, but the instruction book that I have in mine is all the front page is all crinkled. So this was 50 pence. So this is basically an upgrade to the one I had. So there. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I didn't have this, and I won't play it. But I'm actually thinking I probably will now go for a PlayStation 3 full set because. They're just getting so cheap now. It would be stupid not to. It really would. And, I love the PlayStation 3. It's probably my favourite console. So I may as well get all these sort of ones that I don't have just sort of knocked off the list, and I can worry about the condition of them later. Sports Champions. Now this is a Move game, so you need to have the Move controllers for these, and these are not that any of these Move games are particularly expensive, but as I mentioned a couple of years ago, I foresaw the price of these Move lollipops going up, so I bought a load of them because I knew they were going to go up in price as soon as the VR set came out. It was obvious. So the thing is, some of these games are all right. The Move games I've played, I haven't played this one. In fact, I'm looking at this cover now, and I'm pretty sure I have already got this one in the box. I wonder why it's not on my list of stuff that I've already got. I do recognise that cover though, so I'm pretty sure this is my second copy of this. Where was I going? Yeah, the trouble is, the barrier now is these Move lollipops. They have got quite expensive now. They're up at like 30, 35 quid, whereas you were basically picking them up for a fiver at one point, or just over a fiver, between £5 and £10 about 2 years ago. So I bought a load of them because I saw that coming, and I did mention it on a video that I did around that time. I did mention go and get these things now because they will go up in price. But anyway, Sports Champions 50p. Who cares? PlayStation Move starter disc. I didn't have this, and you know it's basically a demo disc just to prove what the Move lollies do. So I didn't have this, so now I do. Hooray! Tiger Woods PGA Tour 11. Well, if you've played Tiger Woods PGA Tour 10 and loved it, this is more of the same. Oh, and Tiger Woods PGA Tour 08. Well, if you played Tiger Woods PGA Tour 09 and loved it, this is slightly less of the same. So that's the cheap PlayStation 3 games out of the way. These were all 50p and all from Echo. Now, yeah, let's do this one first. Now I have the special edition one of this upstairs, but I didn't have this cover one, and mine has all the stuff that says don't sell with whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is the standard edition, I suppose, whereas I had the special edition that comes with the art book. So I bought that on eBay, and how much did I pay? I can't imagine it was an awful lot. £11 I paid for that, but it is new and sealed. Second hand, it was going for about a tenner. I thought, well, the extra pound for a sealed version, I'll just pay it, and then I've got it if I want it, if I need it for anything. And then there's these two other ones, which are both limited run games. Yeah, limited run have done 2 games now for the PlayStation 3. There's Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is a fantastic game for the PlayStation 1, which limited run have redone on the PlayStation 3. So I bought that, of course. And that was, I have to go back in time a little bit here because, no, that's not it. That's not it. £36.81 that was. So that's quite expensive. And then there's Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, which apparently isn't as good. But I never got round to actually playing this when it came out. So now I can. Unfortunately, it looks like it may be on the previous list because I don't have a price for this. That was probably about the same, probably about £36, £37. It depends what the exchange rate is like at the time. But yeah, it was probably about that. And I imagine if I check on eBay, it's probably going for far more than that. So when I get round to it at some point, you will notice that these two are still sealed. So, you know, they're going to stay sealed until I actually decide to play them, as are all of the sort of expensive stuff I've bought if I can, because basically, it might come a point at some point in the future where I have to start selling some of this stuff to keep my head above water, but I'm kind of hoping it doesn't. So I'm going until that point, I'm just going to keep going and see what happens. Right, let's move on to the next batch of stuff. Okay, so we're on now PlayStation 4, and this is another cheapy one from Echo, which is FIFA 17. 50 pence. Not what do I need to say about FIFA 17? I don't really need to say anything about it. No, this is a good one. Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, I bought this off of somebody that basically didn't want it. They played through it, decided they didn't want it, and basically I bought it in the pub for the price of a pint. So I said, what do you want for it? I will get us a drink. All right, I'll get you a drink. So that basically cost me £4.10. Yeah, so the price of a pint, £4.10, pint of Carlsberg. So there you are, Red Dead Redemption 2 for £4.10. I still haven't got around to playing it, and that was, when would that have been? Oh, that would have been about May time, judging by this. Because it's further up the list than the stuff that I got from the games market, which was in June. So yeah, this would be about May time. So it hadn't been out. How long had it been out by that point? About 5 months. £4.10. Didn't think that was too bad. Now, another limited run one. Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. I understand this is a remake of the original Toe Jam and Earl. Which obviously I don't have on the Mega Drive, but I do have on the Mega Drive Mini that I bought. So, you know, maybe a little bit of a waste of money. But oh well, it's another one of these limited run ones. And that was... Right, I can't find it. I really need to keep better track. That may have been bought a while ago. That may have been a pre-order, because I can't find it on my list. No. Okay, so I don't know. But again, it's a limited run one, so who knows? £37-ish, I imagine. Right, now these two are on my list, and I bought them together. They're both limited run games again, and that is Freedom Planet and Pex the Cat. And combined, I paid for these £57.38. So, what, 30 quid each, including shipping from the US. I didn't think that was too bad. I don't know if they're any good, because, like I say, they're, you know, still sealed, as are all of my games. I'm making a point. I was unwrapping them as soon as I got them all, and now I'm waiting until I actually want to play them, just in case. So here's another one, PlayStation 4 game, Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness. So I don't know, I guess this is like Star Ocean 6 or 7. I don't know. I don't know what number we're at now. But yeah, PlayStation 4. And that was £5 from Game. And then Tropico 5 Complete Collection. I don't know what the... so this one contains Tropico 5 with the major expansion packs, Waterborne and Espionage, as well as all DC packs. So hopefully that's on disc and there's not a load of codes, because as you can see, there are no codes in here. So I'm hoping it's on the disc when I finally do get around to playing it. Again, that was another £5 from Game. Far Cry 4, £5 from Game again, but the case is broken. I didn't notice that, obviously, when I bought it. I mean, it's not like these are difficult to replace, but it's annoying that I have to do that. So, whatever. And Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain Day 1 Edition. It says not to be sold separately on here, so I'm assuming this originally came in a pack of some kind or something. But I don't know. I haven't been bothered to look. Metal Gear Solid is not my favourite franchise. It has to be said. I don't like all the sneaky around bits. But it's got a map in here and a little some codes and something. I don't know. There's all stuff in here, and I've just really. I mean, I played the original, not the original Metal Gear Solid, the one that was on the PlayStation, because the original was on the NES, I think. And it was okay, but never really got into it like other people seem to have done. And that was, again, a $5 from Game, so yeah, not too bad. That's all the PlayStation 4 stuff. Right, so the next category is one-offs. So this is stuff that I've just kind of picked up. And I've only got one of them. I've only got one game for that console, and then there's some handheld stuff, and then we're going to start getting on to the sort of meat and potatoes of this video. So the first one is Deadhead Fred, which is a interchangeable heads game. I don't really know. I haven't played it, but it's a PSP game, and I don't have a PSP, but I picked it up because it was 50p, and likelihood is I'm going to sell this on. Or I could just buy a PSP and start collecting PSP games. That is also a possibility. And that was... Where is it? Deadhead Fred. Oh, again, 50p from Echo. I picked this one up because basically at some point I am going to buy an Xbox One, and this is one that I want to play on it. And this was Rare Replay. That was from CEX, and it was £5. So I didn't think that was too bad for all the. Is this a thing with all Xbox One games that the case is backwards? Because I mean, it's got presumably this is the front, but yet you open it up and the CD's on the wrong side. Is that a thing, or is that just I've got a wonky case, or something? Somebody put in the comments if that's a real thing. I suppose, to be fair, I could just go in any game shop and check that, couldn't I? So don't bother putting it in the comments. I'll check that on my own time. That's ridiculous to have to ask somebody. So I've got that for eventually when I get round to buying an Xbox One, which I probably will at some point. When I can get one for £100, I'll probably buy one then. Then that's a game to play. And then I finally got round to picking up the Wii U game. I don't care what anyone says, it is a Wii U game. It was designed entirely to be used on the Wii U. So get over it, Switch people. This is a Wii U game, Zelda Breath of the Wild. And that it was $29.99 in Argos. So yeah, now I've got that. Brilliant. The only trouble with the Wii U version is I don't think any of the sort of free updates or anything are available for the Wii U version. I think they're only on the Switch version. So that's a bit of a pain. But hey, got it now, so I don't have to worry about it. That's one ticked off the Wii U list. Now, the handheld stuff. Telly Addicts with Noel Edmonds. Now, again, this is another one because nobody outside of Britain has a clue what Noel Edmonds is. And I imagine they probably don't have the show Telly Addicts that this game is based on, which I'm pretty sure went off the air about 10 years before the DS was even released. So this is probably not one that anyone's got their eye on. And I didn't have my eye on it. The only reason I've got it is because I guarantee you it was 50p in Echo. I am a sucker for them because everything they do is 50p. Let me just double check. Yep, 50p. So, Doctor Who Evacuation Earth, same deal, although Doctor Who is very popular. So yeah, I don't know what this is. I can't imagine it's particularly good. But, 50 pence. Who's complaining? No, Professor Layton and Pandora's Box. I think I own this game at least 3 times. But the Professor Layton games are great, and this was 50 pence again. So, what's the problem? When I see these Professor Layton games, I always pick them up because I can usually get at least a £5, maybe more, on eBay on the right day for these things, and they're just so good for sticking money in your PayPal account to get something that you really want down the road. So they are really useful for that sort of thing, because they are so good, these Layton games, especially for the handheld or something like that. One of these will do you an entire train journey, in some cases an entire holiday, playing these things. So they really are good. Now, you may have seen these before if you saw my Games Market pickups, but I'll just go through them briefly now. Is Pac-Man and Galaga Dimensions for the 3DS. I still haven't bought a 3DS. I keep intending to, and in fact I'm probably going to get one in January before Nintendo completely discontinues them, because it looks like they're positioning the Switch Lite to be a replacement for the 3DS. But this just looks really, really good. So I bought it at the Games Fair, and I really did overpay for it, as it turns out. I paid £24 for that, and overpaid for it. And I'm not. The cover's in quite the cover's in quite a state as well, and I'm really not happy with that, because, had I paid a tenner for this, and there's a few marks on the cover, it really wouldn't bother me. But £24, and I didn't notice that, and it wasn't pointed out to me either. I think that's. Well, I'm annoyed with that, actually. But I at some point I will enjoy playing it. So there you go. And Kid Icarus Uprising, I also bought at the Doncaster Games Market, which was £24 again. And it's got all the stuff in here, the little stand and the book and whatever it is. All the gear's in here. I've had a look. It's really... that is one that I really did want. It's a shame that we don't see enough of Kid Icarus these days, but there you go. Right, on to some other things. Now I'm going to go through some of the older stuff, and then on to the real proper things in this video. Now, you may have, again, if you saw the Doncaster Games Market one, you've seen these before. But this is Necromancer. For the PC Engine. I was going to say TurboGrafx. It's not. It's PC Engine. It's Japanese. And Dungeon Explorer, also for the PC Engine. And it even has the little foam. Look, the original foam in here. And they were... Yeah, £16 for that one and £5 for that one, which is probably about going rate. I'd have said Dungeon Explorer should probably be a couple of quid cheaper, but oh well, that's what I paid for them. And to be honest, you're not really going to get a deal at any of these sort of games markets or anything like that, so you pay the going rate. I also bought Donkey Kong Country for my Super Famicom. Which I believe was a £5. If I look, yep, £5. And Gauntlet 4 on the Mega Drive, which is probably one of the last games that I needed. Yep, it's all in there. The Tengen Gauntlet 4. So that's the one you want. Oh, somebody driving past. Look, and that was £25. So. Probably a little bit over the odds. Maybe on a bad day that's the right price. On a good day you could maybe get this for 20. It's got no hang tag on it either, so that probably should have been about 20. But it is complete. It's got the manual in there and everything. And then also I bought the Ottifants for £10. Now, again, manuals in there, games in there, and yeah, that was probably the last two Mega Drive games that I actually wanted. And then this other thing popped up, which I actually knew about before I went to the games market. But this isn't an official Mega Drive game. This is Ultra Core on the Mega Drive. Now, this was released by Strictly Limited Games, and there's a postcard in here and a little manual and that, and it's been released on an actual cartridge. Now, this is a funny one because this is the 50 hertz one, which I don't think obviously isn't the sought after one. Most people want the 60 hertz cartridge. So let me just... Ultra Core was basically a game that was supposed to be released on the Mega Drive, but never ever actually got released. And what happened was... I can't remember the name of the bloody company that makes it now, but they released the is it the Mega SG? Mega SG. Was it Analog? Yeah, I think it was Analog. Released the Mega SG, and they had Ultra Core as a built-in game. Now, I've already pre-ordered it on the PlayStation 4, which is obviously going to be the 60 hertz version. And I'm still waiting for that to be produced and sent to me. They haven't done that yet. But what they have done is the cartridge version, which I also pre-ordered, which has been produced and has been sent to me. Now, I bought the 50 hertz version purely because I'm already getting the 60 hertz version as the PlayStation 4 disc, so that's not a problem. I will be able to play the faster version of the game. But also, I don't have a 60 hertz Mega Drive. The only Mega Drive I've got is a PAL one, which runs at 50 hertz. So there'd be no point buying a cartridge that wasn't optimised for it. So that's why I bought the 50 hertz one. But anyway, it's a new Mega Drive game, and I'm quite happy with it. I suppose you could well, you couldn't really call it a repro because it's not a game that was ever released anyway, but it was supposed to have been. It was written for that hardware, so I'm quite happy with that. So yeah, I'm pretty much with that. I'm pretty much at the end of my Mega Drive collecting. I think there's nothing else that really strikes me that I really really want. What I might do is buy one of the Mega SDs or something, and just put that in the top of the Mega Drive and have at it. But I don't know what. But I am pretty much done with that system now. I've got everything that I want to have on that, and yeah. So that's all the cartridge stuff. The only thing left to go through now is the hardware that I've bought, and this is where this video starts to become a bit more expensive. In case you're interested in what I paid for Ultra Core, it was wow, actually that's quite a lot of money. £48.01. So yeah, priced as a new game. In fact, more expensive than a lot of new games. So yeah, that was quite an expensive purchase. But oh well, I've got it now, so who cares? So now on to my favourite bit of these videos, and that is the ridiculously expensive hardware that I like to buy. Now, let's start with the cheapies. Now, I was going past the window of CEX and I saw this in the window, and I thought, oh, look, a PlayStation 3 thing that I don't own. And I'll show you what it is first. It's the Play TV. Now, what this is basically turns your PlayStation 3 into a digital video recorder. Sort of like a TiVo box, but, not as good. And it's pretty much completely useless, to be fair. And this box is ripped, but all the stuff is in here. The disc is in here. The little piece of hardware you get is in here, and I'm sure even the little instruction book's in there somewhere, probably folded up at the bottom. But this only cost me £4. So that's fine. A piece of PlayStation hardware that I didn't already own only cost me £4. So I'm reasonably happy with that, can't complain. But I saw it in the window and I thought, oh, I haven't got that, I better have one of them. The next piece of hardware I wanted, now this is a funny one. I was on eBay, I believe, yeah, it was eBay, and I was looking for something that I wanted, which was a Super Game Boy 2. I have, this is for the Super Famicom. Now I have the PAL version of the Super Game Boy, and I have the Japanese version of the Super Game Boy, the original one. But what I actually wanted was a Super Game Boy 2. And then there was a seller on eBay that happened to be selling as a bundle a Super Game Boy 1 and a Super Game Boy 2 for the Super Famicom. And both of them, posted from Japan this is, came in at £34. Now, I have seen Super Game Boy 2s go for more than that on their own. And I haven't even unwrapped this yet, so I'm going to do it now. Because at some point I'm going to actually use it. And yeah, so Super Game Boy, what's that? That's just the normal one for the Famicom, who cares? Super Game Boy 2 on the other hand, ooh, look, it's all blue and it's translucent, it's got a thing on the side that nobody knows what it is, and ooh, look, that's the one you want. So yeah, I got that and the first one for £34 on eBay. So really, really pleased with that. Because again, it looks like I'm close to completing what I want for the Super Famicom, certainly hardware-wise. Because I've got this, I've got a Sufami Turbo, I've got the Barcode Battler thing that I wanted. Yeah, I mean, hardware-wise, I mean, unless a Satellaview or something like that drops in my lap for no money at all, I'm pretty much done with Super Famicom hardware as well. I've got everything pretty much ticked off the list that I want. The only thing I do still want along the lines of this is one of the Super Game Boy Commander pads by Hori, because they made them for the Super Famicom, and honestly, them things are like, you know, you just can't find them anywhere. It's ridiculous. Or when you can find them, they're silly money, and I mean sometimes obscene amounts of money. So you know, no dice unless I can get one on the cheap. Right. So this is where everything starts to go a little bit crazy, and this is where this video's pricing starts to run a little bit out of control. Because there's a couple of things I had my eye on for a while. They were on my wish list of stuff that I really, really, really wanted. And I thought, do you know what? You may as well get them now. Because at any point in the future, who of us knows what our cash flow situation is going to be like at any point in the future? You know, things happen, things are beyond your control. So I thought to myself, well, while you've got the money there, while you've been saving, while you didn't have a holiday this year, and you've got the money sitting there, why not, you know, treat yourself? And I thought, yeah, do you know what? You're right. Why not do that? You know, this is a conversation I'm having with myself in order to justify obscene amounts of money on things that I'm probably, if in all reality, barely going to look at. But here we go. Let me just organise this a bit better. So I was on AliExpress, and like I say, had my eye on this for a little while, and I may as well just show you what it is right now. It's a Neo Geo MVS. It's the standard AliExpress Neo Geo MVS, but this isn't a Chinese knockoff board. This is a genuine MVS board that's in here. So at one point was in an arcade. I believe it's the C-type board, the one slot C. So I'm pretty sure that's the one that it is. So Neo Geo people, sorry if it's not, but that's what I believe it is. But this is quite a good little piece of kit, because what they've done is that they've basically rigged the back of it, and it works with a normal television, etc., etc. So you've got a 12 volt in, and it comes with a power supply. By the way, it came with a UK power supply, which I was very pleased about because. Well, not so pleased because I didn't know it came with a UK power supply. I thought it just came with like a transformer box. So I actually went and bought a separate power supply, one of them sort of kettle leads that normally go in a PC, expecting to be able to need it, and I didn't. That was not the only mistake I've made with this, by the way. The other mistake I made was that I was under the impression from reading forums online. And of course, I didn't check the thing that I was buying. From forums online, everyone said that the RGB was a Saturn connector. It turns out it's not, but it looks like a Mega Drive 1 connector, but it's not that either, because I have a Mega Drive 1 RGB out, and it doesn't seem to work. So what I want to know is where do I get an RGB connector for this? That's what I need to know. And don't just put in the comments it's a Saturn one, because it's definitely not that, and it's definitely not a Mega Drive 1 one. So if anyone else has one of these and knows where you can get a half decent RGB SCART for this, then do let me know. But for the moment, the component seems to work perfectly well. I haven't tried S-Video because I don't have anything S-Video that I can test it with. But the component works fine, the composite works fine, and it plugs into a normal television. The other good thing on the front is that not only does it take Neo Geo controllers, so if I wanted to, I could plug in an AES stick, I could plug in a Neo Geo CD controller, I could plug in the little Bean arcade stick that they do, so it'll take all them perfectly well. But it also takes Sega Saturn pads, which are quite possibly one of the best controllers there are, provided you get either a Japanese one or the second revision of the PAL controllers. So this. Oh, and with it, of course, I didn't just get the console. I bought the bundle that came with this. Most people will recognise this cartridge by now. The multi-game 161 in 1. So, yeah, I mean, technically, if you want to get technical with it, it's not 161 games. It's, if you take out all the ROM hacks that are on here and the two, I believe it is, unreleased, not demo games, what do they call them? Promotional games that are on here. Prototype games, I should say, not promotional, prototype games that are on here. It is actually 107 separate games. So if you take all the stuff out, so you're basically getting 107 pretty much arcade perfect AES games, or MVS games, sorry. So that obviously just slots in here, and there you are. There's my Neo Geo. Ooh, and obviously, so for these two, I paid £296.91. And that included shipping, and that included the PayPal fees, because I wasn't going to give AliExpress my credit card number. I'm not an idiot. So that included the PayPal fees, which was another, I can't remember what the percentage was, but it wasn't overly expensive, I didn't think, for the fact that I didn't have to give them my number. But, here's the other thing. I got charged a customs charge of £18.41 when it turned up. So be wary of that. So all told, it cost me sort of £320, give or take, for just this, the cartridge, and the power supply. Now it didn't come with any TV leads. I had to source them separately, but luckily I already had a component cable. I already had a composite cable. But the other thing I had to buy to go with this, obviously, because I don't have a Sega Saturn, was a Sega Saturn pad. So I thought, well, I may as well get the one that I think looks the nicest and buy the Japanese Sega Saturn pad, because I've always liked these ones. They're so colourful. The Saturn pads that we had were all sort of dark and we're Sega Saturn and we're goths. No. I want the colourful sort of Japanese one. You know, I like that pad. So I bought one of these on eBay, and I think it was Sega Saturn controller, £14.50 including delivery. So I didn't think that was too bad. That's probably about going rate for one of these. So yeah, a Neo Geo. I've got a bloody Neo Geo. So, I mean, even though, I mean, it's a genuine board that's in here, 3D printed case, dodgy cartridge, admittedly, and there are some notable games missing on this cartridge that I would have loved to have been there. Magician Lord being one of them, the other one being Windjammers, which is a pretty good game, and at some point, yes, I will also buy another pad for it, because, you know, there's no point playing arcade games one player. I mean, most of these are fighting games. What's the point in playing them one player? There isn't any. So I will get another pad for it. I may well, at some point in the future, plump for a couple of AES sticks, but I'm not sure about that. There may not be any need. I'll be perfectly happy myself with the Saturn controllers, which is one of the main selling points of getting this one. I mean, you can probably buy these consoleized MVS units for a bit cheaper if you shop around, but this one takes Saturn controllers, and I just thought that just sounds so much more convenient. But again, I would love to know what that RGB connector is on the back, and where I can get one. So if anyone knows, please put it in the comments or send me a message on Twitter or something like that. That would be fantastic. What else? Well, yes. So, shame there's no eject button though. That would have been really handy, because these things, you know, they're pretty stiff. They were meant to, you know, this is an arcade board, and this is basically an arcade cartridge, and you know they were meant to sort of sit in there for months and months on end. You weren't meant to keep taking them in and out. So at some point, one of the videos I want to do at some point in the future is to do a review on this cartridge, because although there's plenty of people that sort of go, oh, well, this game, this game, this game, this game. You know, there's plenty of people that just list the games that's on it. But I want to do some sort of a proper review of this cartridge at some point in the future, or at least I plan to. You know, if I get to the point where, you know, I can't think of much to say about it, because let's face it, a lot of the games on these are the same. You know, how many times do you need to hear about Fatal Fury Special or King of Fighters? You know, I mean, that between Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, that's about 50 games on this cartridge, I think, all told. So, yeah, I mean, it depends what I feel. I may well just review the more sort of niche stuff that's on this, but yeah. So that's something for the future. So if you do want to find out if one of these is good value, wait for me to put the video up telling you about it. You know, don't go and make your own decisions or anything. Wait for me to tell you. You know, that's how it works. You wait for somebody on YouTube to tell you what to do. Right. So now on to the last thing, which isn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be, but did work out being quite a bit of money. Now, as you may know, I bought a, what do they call it? The Core Graphics PC Engine. I got it in January. It was £120. Got a few games with it. I've since been buying controllers and things, which you may have seen in the May pickups video, was it? Or the June pickups video that I did. I bought a few controllers. I bought a few different bits and pieces. I've bought a few games. And then there is a company that I had my eye on. They're called Terra Onion. So now with that name, you probably know exactly where I'm going with this. Well, they had a piece of hardware out a while back called the Super SD System 3. and they had been sold out for months and months and months and months and months. Pretty much everyone on YouTube got one. I didn't get one because I'm not very popular, as it turns out. You know, they didn't want to send me a review unit, so I've had to buy my own. But I had to wait for it to be back in stock, so that's what I've done. Now, luckily, they were having a Cyber Monday sale. It was either Cyber Monday or Black Friday, I forget which one. So it sort of worked out a bit well and then a bit sort of not so well. Let me try and explain. Now, the company Terra Onion deals in euros. The pound, for most of this year, has been struggling against the euro. So even if these were in stock, that would have been, you know, it adds quite a bit to the price when you're talking the kind of prices these go for. So then it went in stock, and I thought, and then they had a sale. They had a Black Friday or Cyber Monday sale. I forget which one it was. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to. So I bought this, and then about 3 or 4 days later, the pound made a miraculous recovery against the euro, and I would have probably saved myself about 20 or 30 quid by waiting a couple of days, but I didn't. I'd already paid for it, so ho-hum. You live and learn. So this was, what this basically is a piece of hardware. It fits on the back of your PC Engine, whichever model it is. It even works with the TurboGrafx. And it basically plays all the cue cards, all the CD-ROM games, all the Super CD-ROM games, all the arcade card CD-ROM games. And if you connect it to a SuperGrafx, you can play SuperGrafx games on it as well. But I don't have a SuperGrafx. I've just got the core graphics, the standard PC Engine. So I'll be connecting it to that. And the two main problems I have with this at the moment is that I don't have a spare 256 gig SD card, which, if you're going to put all the CD images from the US library and the Japanese library on it, you probably want a 256 gig card. 128's not quite going to do it, I don't think, if I've worked it out correctly. So I don't have a 256 gig card, so I'll probably buy one in January. The other thing that I don't have is a Mega Drive 2 RGB cable, because I don't have a Mega Drive 2. So I'm going to have to get one of them. I'm probably going to get them from Retro Gaming Cables that are in the UK. I'll get one of their Pack-a-Punch cables. I've bought them before and they're really good. So I figure I'll probably just get one of them. And yeah, that's basically what it is. You load everything on an SD card. You can play it, all the CD games. So I won't need to get a Super CD, and I won't need to find any of them difficult to find arcade cards or anything like that. It's all basically here. And yeah, I'll need to get an AV cable. But yeah, Super SD System 3. I'm absolutely chuffed with that. So yeah. All told, it cost me $185.95 for this. But then again, this came from Andorra. And the trouble with territories like Andorra is, tax-wise, they tend to be a bit dodgy. You know, nothing against the place, but that's how the rest of the world sees it. So you guarantee that if something comes in and it's a small package from Andorra, the customs men are going to take notice, and of course they did. So my customs charge for this was £47.34. They don't miss a trick. So all told, you're looking at what, 185.47. So let's say £230. Yeah, give or take £230 for this. Including the customs charge, so that was basically getting it here. So then, if you want to be pedantic about it, so you add in another 30 quid for the RGB cable that I want to buy. You add another 35 quid for the 256 gig card. Yeah, I know you can get them cheaper, but I'm not gonna. I'm not going to skimp out on it. I don't want one of these dodgy cards. I'm going to buy, the only card that's going to be in here is like a Samsung Evo or something like that. I'm not pissing about buying a cheap card because I only want to buy it once. So yeah, you could take that 230 and then basically add another 60 quid to that to have it all up and running. But then once I've done that, that's it. That's everything. That's everything I'll ever need to do to my PC Engine again. And I've got everything there. And presumably then, it goes through the scale and upscales and I can play it on my TV forevermore. But yeah, so these two pieces of hardware, the Neo Geo here and the Super SD System 3, they are two massive big things that I wanted knocked off my list. And now I have done. So I am really pleased about it. I'm not pleased about the amount of money I spent. But I look at them as single purchase items. I will never, even if they break, I'm probably not going to replace them. I mean, I hope they don't break. I mean, especially the Neo Geo, because, that board's got to be getting on for 30 years old now anyway. If it's still working now, it's probably still going to be working for a while yet. These things were designed to last. They were designed to take punishment. These sorts of things with the ARM processors in them and things like that, I'm not so sure. But we'll see. I'm hoping it just runs and runs and runs. And this company here, Terra Onion, have got quite a good reputation. I don't own any of their stuff, but other people who I've seen that do, that they have got a very good reputation for build quality. Although, funnily enough, apparently the last version of this, the one that went out of stock about 6 or 8 months ago, one of the capacitors on the video channel had been basically put in the wrong way round, so people had to open them up and sort of fix them themselves, otherwise they were getting loads and loads of video noise. But hopefully this is, they've realised that was a thing and they've sorted this one out. So really pleased with it, really, really chuffed. Now there is what was I going to do? I can't remember. So yeah, that was it. There's a few things that I'd said I'd ordered that I can't find on here. So I was going to say there's a couple of things that I've ordered that haven't shown up, but that must have been from the previous. That must be on my previous list. I know one of the things that hasn't turned up is the PS4 version of Ultra Core, which was the Mega Drive game. But I think I ordered that before I ordered the cartridge, so that would be on the previous list. So everything that's on this list is stuff that I've got in front of me. So fantastic. That's probably the first time that's ever happened. I have got, apart from that, I don't think I've got any more active pre-orders in, because I'm kind of at the pump where, because I'm kind of at the point now where I'm getting a bit fed up of having loads and loads of games that I'm not playing. So my intention for this year is that I'm going to start getting around to actually doing something with some of these games and actually playing them. But I'm really, the Neo Geo and the Super SD system, I'm really pleased to have that. I mean, I will probably, likelihood is I will just end up plugging this in and playing it, playing everything I can. I want to play through Bonk and Bonk's Revenge and Air Zonk, and I want to try and play through what's the one with a fella with a club? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, there's loads of PC Engine stuff that I want to play through. Now, granted, I've got a couple of Raspberry Pi consoles. I could have just played it on them. But it's not the same. It's not the. I know where people are coming from when they say it's not the same as using an emulator as using official hardware. Now, granted, for CD stuff, yes, this is still an emulator. but I'm still using a proper controller. I'm still using the proper console. As far as I'm aware, the only bit that's really emulated is the CD drive itself. All the sort of internal gubbins is done by the PC Engine anyway. So and the CD is just a unit for reading the discs. All the processing is done by the console. So it's kind of emulation, but not really. You're basically just emulating the drive. But it is not the same as using it. And it's the same with playing the Neo Geo stuff. Even though I'm playing it using a Saturn pad, it still just feels a lot... I don't know, it just feels better than it does on original hardware than it does trying to play it through a PC or a Raspberry Pi or something like that. It just feels different. I don't know why, but it just does. And it's one of them things. It just is what it is. It just feels the way it feels, and that's it. You can't really explain it to somebody without saying, "Oh, here's that thing," and try it yourself. So, I believe that's everything. I have got. How long have I gone on for now? Right, so about an hour. So that will probably cut down to about 50 minutes. So maybe not as long as I was expecting to go on. But yeah, so what's likely to happen at some point in the future is there's going to be a lot of Neo Geo and PC Engine content going up on this channel for obvious reasons. Because now I can actually do all that stuff. Because these are worlds that were basically closed off to me until recently, because I never had any Neo Geo hardware until recently. I never had any PC Engine or TurboGrafx hardware until about a year ago. So I'm sort of getting into them at the moment and sort of finding out as I go. Whereas, obviously Mega Drive and Super Nintendo and Master System and things, I had all them when I was younger, so I know an awful lot about the library, so I can do stuff on that. But some of these other consoles I'm just kind of getting to grips with now, so there might be a lot more of that sort of content turning up. But this is all stuff that I mentioned in the previous video, so hopefully I'm not repeating myself too much. So anyway, that's the pickups, and if you're interested in what the grand total spend is, so this is between June the 15th 2019 and this will be December the 18th 2019. The grand total spend is £945.37. But bearing in mind, more than half of that is just these last two things. So, that's not too bad. There's not actually that many expensive games on the list, but there's a couple of pieces of expensive hardware, I suppose. And I don't know. I have to have a think about what my next big purchase is. I'm definitely going to try and get a 3DS in January. So spoiler alert. But then, to be fair, I did say that last December that I intended on buying a 3DS for myself, or not a 3DS, but a 2DS. I want the new 2DS. I don't want a 3DS because it gives me a headache anyway. 3D stuff, all 3D stuff gives me a headache. Can't really deal with it. So at some point at the beginning of next year, I'm going to be buying myself a new 2DS. But with regards to games, I think I'm probably going to focus on PlayStation 3 now. Like I say, I'm pretty much done with Super Famicom. There's one or two things I need to get off my list, and then I'm done with games that I want from that. Sega Mega Drive, pretty much the same deal. I've pretty much got all the hardware that I want. I wouldn't mind one of the 6-button arcade sticks, but they're very, very expensive. So I might give that a miss. But other than that, I've got pretty much all I want for the Mega Drive. I've got pretty much all I want for the DS. 3DS, there's a few things that I'm going to buy, but I'm probably going to wait till I get the console. And then everything else is just basically cheapies that I'm going to pick up as and when. The one console I'm going to be trying to focus on is PlayStation 3. because that's getting so cheap at the moment, it'd be silly not to. So that should give you a hint as to what the next pickups video probably should look like. You know, there may be a 2DS console there, a few sort of 3DS games, and quite a lot of PlayStation 3 stuff, because that's what I'm looking for. But again, it depends on what pops up. If something pops up that you know, piques my interest or whatever. I mean, I am looking forward to getting the new Saints Row game when it comes out, if it ever manages to come out. So the next pickup video might feature Saints Row 5 on the PlayStation 4. I'm hoping it does, because that is one that I would definitely buy pretty much straight away, because I love the Saints Row games. They're like Grand Theft Auto's cheeky younger brother. They're just, you know, it's pretty much the same game, but it takes itself in no way seriously at all. You know, Grand Theft Auto, for my money, takes itself far too seriously. It goes, oh, we're satirising the world. Yeah, and here comes Saints Row to satirise you. You know, you think you're clever, you're not. You're just, anyway. Yeah, so, well, I'm hoping to get a lot of stuff done in the new year. This is probably going to be the last video that goes up this year. So everyone have a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you do this time of year, have a good one. And hopefully I will be back with some more content in January, once I've written most of it. Yeah, and the usual stuff, you know, some videos will pop up at the side here that you might like. You can subscribe down here, you can write to me on Twitter or whatever, and I will see you in another video. I have been the Pickled Onion Knight.